Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
Hi folks, we've got these NGK spark plugs. You can buy them at 1aauto.com. We're going to put a fresh set into our 2008 Outback with the single overhead cam 2.5 in it. So if you need tune-up parts or any other parts for your vehicle, visit 1aauto.com. We've been selling parts for over 30 years. We've got the best service on the internet and fast and free shipping. Open the hood, go under here, release lever. There's a little indicator, a little pictograph of a car. And the release lever for the hood is here. Lift up on the hood, find the safety. It's right here above the grille, so push it to the passenger side. And just put the prop rod up. You can put your hood in the service position by lifting it up. And then if you fall down here, you put the prop rod in this extra little hole here on the hood. And we'll let that sit there. And now your hood's open higher and you've got some more space to work. So if you're working on your Subaru here, the coil pack is right here with the plug wires running off of it. So these two wires run down to the passenger side. There's cylinder number 3 and number 1. And you can follow them down into the cylinder head, and that's where you'll find your spark plugs. And if you follow the other two wires across, these are cylinder 4 and 2. And again, those will go down into the cylinder head. We're going to start here in the driver's side in the rear cylinder. This will be cylinder number 4. And I'm just going to reach down. You don't want to pull the plug boot out by the wire. It's got these nice little rubber tabs here. You can grab onto it and pull it out. And they might have a little bit of a suction to them. You gotta give it a good tug. Maybe work it around a little bit. And you can lift it up. You want to do these one at a time so you don't mix them up. And you can just lift this up here and put it aside. Use this 5/8 spark plug socket. So this is special because it does have a rubber insert that holds the spark plug. So when I take it out, it doesn't fall on me. The 5/8 fits these. And I've got a combination of extensions. You're just gonna have to find the right combination that fits in there. Go down. So like I gotta take this little extension off. And maneuver it into place. And then I can stick this little shorter extension on here. And then we'll push it over the spark plug so I can feel it's on there. I'll take the ratchet. It's pretty tight in here. Might have to work at it a little bit. And these should come loose pretty easily. They shouldn't be torqued in here too terribly tight. And start to loosen it up with the ratchet. And when you feel it get loose enough, you can reach in here with your fingers, take it out the rest of the way. And I take this little short extension out so I can get it off. And just slide it out of here. So you can see that the socket holds the spark plug in place. I'll just take it out. Here we've got our old spark plug we pulled from our vehicle. See, it does have some wear in it, a little bit of oil. It's pretty normal. The car probably needs valve cover gaskets, but we're not going to worry too much about that right now. Here's our brand new one from 1aauto.com. You can see if you match these up, they're the same length, so they'll fit in the cylinder correctly. They have the same type of crush gasket here, and the original was in NGK, the new ones are NGKs, so these will bolt right in and work great for you. So we'll put our new spark plug into the socket, and it holds it in place. We'll go down in here. These don't need to be gapped, they're pre-gapped. Carefully slide it into the cylinder head, make sure you thread it down in by hand. I need that little extra extension. You don't want to cross thread these, so make sure you feel them go in nicely. And I like to thread them all the way down until I can't thread them anymore with my hand, and then I'll tighten them. So So the torque on these is 15 foot-pounds. You just need to crush the little sealing gasket that's on the end of them. If you can't get a torque wrench in here, you probably can't. It's pretty tight. So let me just get the ratchet in here to line up. So I'm going to thread it down, and when I feel it get tight, I'll go about a half turn more, and that should be enough to seat that gasket. You don't want to over tighten these. You don't need to kill them when you're putting them in. So that's tight, and then I'll just go a little bit more right there. You can reinstall the plug wire and boot. At this point, if you want to change these, you can do that. Additionally, if you want to add a little bit of dielectric grease here and on the end, feel free. We're just going to install them as is. These ones are in pretty good shape. Just feed that into the opening. It should seat itself right on the spark plug. Just make sure it pushes down. It'll kind of snap into place. And it goes back into this little carrier here. And we'll do the front cylinder. So this one here will be the same exact as the rear one. And we'll just start by pulling off the boot. To get to the spark plugs on this side, on the passenger side, we're going to remove the air box to give us access. So we'll start over here at the intake duct. This has some push clips here, so I'll use a push clip tool, pry them out. Just pop them up. Do the same for both. And this will pull right out and lift up. I can put that aside. I'm going to loosen this hose clamp. You can either use a flat-bladed screwdriver, or I'm going to use an 8mm socket. I think using the socket and ratchet's easier, but if you don't have access to it, just use a flat-bladed screwdriver. Just loosen it up, slide it off, and unplug the mass airflow meter here. Push it in the lock, pull it out. Might have to hold on to the box. You don't need to remove it from this air box, you can just unplug it. So there's a stud with a nut here holding in the air box. I'm going to loosen that up with a ratcheting wrench. It's 10mm. If it's loose enough, I'll take it off with my fingers. If I can get my fingers in here, it's still kind of tight. It's a little bit rusty, so I'll keep taking it off. I'll try not to drop it. Put that aside, so we'll use it. So there's a 10mm bolt down here. I'm going to use a 10mm socket and a long extension. I'm just going to take it all the way out and make it a little bit easier. Just pull the airbox up and out. It sometimes might be, this one wasn't clipped, but it should be clipped on this power steering line here. If it is, just pop it out. And kind of maneuver it out of the engine compartment. Try not to pull any hoses out with it. All right, so we'll start in this rear cylinder here. So we'll reach down. This will be just like the driver's side. Pull on these rubber flaps. You don't want to pull on the spark plug wire. And just kind of work the boot out. Put this aside. I'm going to just move this connector out of the way. All right, so we'll put our spark plug socket and extension down into the opening. Wires in the way, just kind of maneuver it in there. I'll get the other little extension. Just use a combination of extensions that works for you. Make sure it's seated on the spark plug. Feels like it is. Use a ratchet to remove it. Slide it out of there. It's getting tight. We'll go just a little bit more to seat the gasket. We're all set. Reinstall the spark plug boot. Make sure it's seated. Then we'll move on to the next one. We'll do the same for the front cylinder. In. I'll reinstall the boot and the wire. I'll reinstall the airbox. Just kind of feed it back into the fender well here. Just maneuver it around some hoses and wires. Make sure we don't break the mass airflow sensor wire. Put that stud in the opening there. So make sure you don't lose your hose clamp here. And make sure you put the bolt part where you can reach it. So usually like that. And we'll line this up here, push it over. This will help you get it into place. This power steering line clips into this hook right here. Put this bolt down into here. Tighten it up. Once I feel it get tight, stop. Reinstall this nut here. It's a little tricky because my hand wants to push the airbox away as I'm trying to thread it on. Just get it started. Just thread it on as far as I can go, and then I'll use my ratcheting wrench to finish it up. And I'll just get it tight, just snug it up. Don't have to over tighten it. Once you feel it get tight, you can stop. And then we'll find our mass airflow meter plug. It's very important you don't forget to plug this back in. Click when it locks in place. So tighten up our hose clamp. Just feel it get tight, stop. These little push clips, they've got a little rubber grommet on them. I'm just gonna take it off. Just simply slide it off, and I'll push it back in where it originally went. This will make it easier to reinstall with these already in here. Kind of push them in place. Do the same for the other one. So now this part will fit into the airbox. We'll slide it in. We'll line it up on the radiator support. Put the push clips in. Job is complete.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at oneauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.